Welcome back to our channel. We are four brothers who have got started in property and we're going to be documenting our journey along the way. We've got 5 subscribers now, so we're taking things pretty seriously. And yeah, if you do enjoy this video, please remember to leave a like and subscribe. It really helps us out.
For the video today, we put together some before and after content of our first rental property, so that you can see the process of our first buy-to-let and the renovations. We're going to chuck in some advice that we discovered along the way after we had some, not problems, but just things we ran into along the way, and hopefully it can help you out if you're looking to get started. Cool, so the first thing you want to have in mind is the target audience. Now, this all comes down to where you're renting the property. If you're going to be renting the property in Mayfair, in London, it's going to be a completely different process than if you're renting a 4-bedroom HMO in Leeds. So you need to keep in mind the kind of materials and costs you're putting in, just so that you don't go overboard. Just keep it set to your audience.
So second of all, you want to be planning the work properly as well. You don't want to be laying the carpet and then you've got the painters and decorators coming in and ruining the carpet that you've just laid. And you don't want to be getting people bringing up plasterboard and stuff like that, ruining the walls, scratching the walls. So yeah, making sure that you time things appropriately so that you don't jeopardise the other work that you've already completed.
Another thing that we thought might help is, if you're getting started, you're probably doing this on a limited budget. So if you can, utilise any friends and family that might want to get involved in property. If they can do just general things like when you're stripping wallpaper paint, just taking that stuff out, putting it all in the skip. Just things that aren't really too technical, that friends and family, you might be lucky enough for them to help you out with.
And also what you want to do as well is you want to read the surveyor report thoroughly, because it's not just a tick box exercise, it's there so that you can actually understand exactly what needs to be done and with the property. Like we learned that mistake.
Yeah, that would have saved us a few quid.
Yeah, because we had some damp patches in one of the rooms in the loft bedrooms, and we were thinking that it was a problem with the chimney breast, and we ended up paying about £4,000 to get a new chimney stack completed. But it was literally just a simple fix where we just needed to include some ventilation in the chimney flue, which is about a £10 fix.
Which they actually told us in the report. We just didn't read it.
Yeah.
If you see wallpaper in rooms and you're a bit sceptical, definitely double check, because you might not know what's behind the wallpaper. We had in the living room of this property, there was a fireplace and it had been completely wallpapered over, and it was crumbling all behind. So when we stripped that back ready to replaster it, we found out then that we'd need to get the plaster in for another day or so. So it's a little bit of an extra expense having to do that. So just make sure, if you see the wallpaper, just get someone to have a look and make sure that it's all right.
Yeah, and also you want to be keeping a record of all your transactions as well, because just think, all the building work is a tax deductible expense, so you can save money on your tax bill, especially if you're doing it as a sole trader or through a business. You want to be making sure you keep a record of everything as well, because there's all little costs that come up here and there, isn't there? Like you have to buy a new tub of paint, or you have to buy additional labour. Like it's just, you need to keep a record of absolutely everything.
Yeah, and we did a few transactions here and there where I was just paying for things on my personal account. Matt was sending money to people to pay labourers, and it does help if you can keep a log of all of these things. It definitely helps with your ROI at the end when you're trying to work out exactly how much you spent on the property. If you've got everything all in one place, just keep track of it as you're going along, then it's going to make the whole process a lot easier at the end when you go, right, I put 25k into this property, I've got this. You know exactly how much you've invested, and once you've got your return, you can work out how much you're making.
Yeah, and also for us, because we live in London and we invested in Leeds, which is about a 4 or 5 hour drive. I always forget how long it is to get there, but the best thing to do is to find a local builder that you can trust in the area, because initially we started just trying to do it ourselves. So we were travelling up there, we were staying in hotels, we were sleeping in the house on like air beds and things like that, staying in hostels and stuff. But to get a local, we had a nightmare there. We'll do a story on that. But what we need to do is, you get a local builder in the area so that you can just give them the keys, someone you trust, and then they can crack on with work whilst you're at home.
Yeah, that came in massively clutch for us when we had someone that we trusted, and we were able to just get them to drive back and forth from the estate agents to drop off keys and take delivery of kitchen appliances, things like that. It really goes a long way, because as you can imagine, you can't just go up to from London to Leeds every 5 minutes just to pick up a bloody cooker. You need to have someone there. If you can, that would be ideal.
Yeah, and don't get overwhelmed with it as well, because when you're doing some of these renovation jobs, like you can see by the pictures, sometimes it looks like it would just completely overwhelm you. But if you just break it down into steps and think, right, this needs to be done, that needs to be done, this needs to be done, and put it into a checklist and a snagging list once you come to the end, and then you can just send that to the builder and just think, right, this is what I need doing, let me know once it's done.
When you're doing the work itself, it's good to get a few quotes for each job. If you're going to be getting a plasterer around, get a few quotes from different plasterers, because some guy might come round and charge you astronomical amounts, and then the next guy comes round and says he'll do the same job for half the price.
And you get a better price when you compare, because if they know that they're competing with someone, they won't jeopardise you. If they know that they're the sole person that's going to be completing the building work, then they think, right, well, we can charge these guys whatever we like. But if one guy's charging you 500, one guy's charging you 600 or 700, then you know you're being charged fairly, because it's all within the same range. And also one thing to bear in mind is, we just went with a minimalistic approach. You don't have to make it so fancy. Like, if you're renting these properties out, you want to make sure that the tenant who's moving in can just see it as their own. If there's loads of patterns and wallpapers and loads of like abstract colours and stuff, people just think, right, I can't see myself living here, because they might not like the taste of the house. But if you just, like, as you can see by the pictures, we just had magnolia and white, and just as simple as possible. And we didn't go with furnishing it as well, because we thought that if a tenant can put in their own furniture, that they would feel more at home and they would want to stay for a longer duration.
Yeah, I think that's a whole video in itself. Furnishings, whether to furnish or not to, and the types of furnishings that you want to get. It goes back to the same point that we started with, your target audience. You want to make sure that if you are furnishing things, that it's suitable, really. Yeah,
so thank you for watching our video. I hope you've enjoyed it. We're not claiming to be experts by any means. We're just putting tips and tricks and stuff that we've managed to do ourselves, and what worked for us and what hopefully might work for you. So if you do want to help a brother out, just make sure or two, help two brothers out, or four. So if you do enjoy these videos and you want to see more of this content, please remember to like and subscribe, and leave a comment below as well if you've got any questions. We've got plenty of videos to come this year.
Yeah, we've got big things in store this year. We just had some good news today. We're going to make a video on the refinancing update that we just had today. We're getting pretty serious now. As you can tell, we've got a globe in the background, as you saw the last video, so things are taking off.